Hello, welcome to the stream. I totally messed up that video there. It's definitely not Age Domain Tuesday. It's Thursday for a start, so I don't know what's going on with that video. This is what happens when Mark is on holiday. So, how are you both? Welcome to the stream, Tyler. Tyler, obviously from Ezoic. You've been on our stream a couple of times before. I'll show a couple of times before. How's it all going?
Good. It's been a minute since we've had a chance to talk a little bit, and yeah, I think I was telling you in the private chat right before the show, I was kind of scrambling to get things together in time. You guys always have such a great setup, and yeah, it's always fun talking to you. I love this show.
Nice. Your hair's definitely looking a lot longer than it was last time you were on.
I know. I fought it for a long time. You can see. The thing is I run around and do so much. It's actually easier this way, and at the same time, I also find that like if I'm working out or something, it gets sweaty. It pokes me in the eye. So you know what? I guess it's just better for everybody.
I said a couple of months back that I was going to grow it like that. I'm going to grow it like a man bun on there. But I can't get past that phase where it's like too long to do anything with, but it's not quite long enough. I just can't get past that bit. That's the hard bit.
You know, I grew up in rural Missouri, which is in the middle of the U.S., and I grew up in a town that had about 50 people in it. So whenever I go home, everybody's like, well, Tyler moved out to California, and now he's got a ponytail. And it's like I get these weird looks, you know?
I guess that haircut's not popular back home then.
No. And I think it comes with all kinds of judgment and things like that. You know, my grandpa was a farmer, and so it's like I feel like my dad just always somewhat slightly disappointed.
Amazing. Elena, how are you? How's your week going?
Good. It's busy, which is good. Busy week. Yeah, just the usual, really, pushing through. I've got a few days off next week, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, just the usual for me. How about you, Adam? How are you doing?
Good. Not too bad. You doing anything nice with your days off? Are you going anywhere or?
Yeah, I've got a birthday coming, so so yeah, just gonna go out for a meal with my partner, and pretty much that's it.
Awesome. No, that's nice. Nice to have some time off.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, before we get into it, then Mark normally does this, so I'll just quickly swing through this stuff, some housekeeping stuff. If you are new around here, don't forget to like and subscribe. The more we grow the channel, it's growing nicely over the last 6 months, but the more we grow it, the more people that we can reach, and the more we can keep bringing these shows. And as always, if we get to 35 likes, then we'll do a giveaway. Mark isn't here to demonstrate the gangster hat that we've got. We've got hats, mugs, t-shirts, Niche Website Builder, all Niche Website Builder branded, so you can grab one of those. Don't forget, if you haven't already, go and sign up to our Building Empires live event. It's building.empires.live. It's running early next year, and we've got 5 days full of guests and speakers and workshops in order to show you how to build and grow websites. And last but not least, if you are interested in using any of the Niche Website Builder services, grab a coupon in the comments below. It's an exciting day for us. We launched our digital PR service today. So if you are on our email list, you would have got an email, and you can go to the website and check that out. But yeah, that's awesome. Some of the links the team already landed are insane. Not only links, they got one of our clients in the print newspaper yesterday. Like, what was that? Like, how was that?
Website.
That's right. So yeah, so go and check that out. I'll just do a quick hello to everyone. So we've got Luke in the comments. We've got Birdie. We've got Maeve, that rhymes with Dave, which I love. We've got Daniel, Tim, and Jeremy. And if you've got any questions for us or for Taylor as we go through the stream today, just pop them in the comments. We'll come to them either at the end or as we go. But onto the meat of it, Tyler, we brought you on to talk to us or to share how we can use some of Ezoic's exciting new tools to continue to grow our sites. And I've had to play around with some of them. They look awesome. But I mean, tell us all about these new tools. What are they? What do they do? How do you use them? What's the point of using them?
Yeah. I think the last part is probably the most important, which is, I think one of the things that we've been really adamant about, probably for the last, I mean, our CEO has taken an approach to strategy that we've done like ever since we were just starting off as a company, and because of that, we really look at things years ahead of time, and I think I can look back to maybe 2018, 2019, when we really started on the path towards developing some of the things that we've made available now. And it's really trying to predict what problems can we potentially help our publishers solve, and then what opportunities do we see that may give them an advantage, or how can we help them basically modernize. And
Yeah.
one of the things that if you look at just the way that Google search has evolved, you look at sort of how user behavior has evolved. Video is something it's not a surprise for anyone. I don't think anybody's going like, wow, this video thing came out of nowhere. But one thing I do find is that publishers tend to maybe even think that like they've missed the boat on video, like or it's something for like YouTubers. But I think people would have said the same thing about mobile, maybe like 10 years ago. They would have said like, well, all the cool people, they've already like shifted to mobile. I'm going to be behind them. You've got all the great advertising magazines and publications out there saying like, you missed the boat on mobile, and it's like just the apex of that bell curve. And I think
Yeah.
what we're seeing with video is similar. I mean, 62% of Google search results have video at the top of the page.
Well,
You've got video search being the second largest search engine in the world,
yeah.
behind basically Google search engine, which then third is YouTube. Google's second largest search engine is another Google search engine. And like
Is that the video tab when you search on Google and you press video? Is that
video and
like
images, technically. Yeah, it's
yeah,
a bad trivia answer. If somebody ever asked what's the second largest search engine in the world, and you can say, well, it's Google. And like, who's the first? It's also Google. And then YouTube is the third. So, I mean, arguably also Google.
and
Um,
TikTok's catching up there as well, right? And that's video. Like TikTok's on a massive growth.
I don't think they consider it a search engine, but in terms of user footprint, I think it's
Right.
beaten Google a couple times. But it sort of it's apples to oranges in a lot of ways, So
Yeah.
that gets into all kinds of different stuff. But the thing with video is that it is not just this thing that goes into a platform or onto YouTube. It's something that can actually live and on your site and be indexed in search results. And that, to me, that's something you absolutely have to consider as a publisher, because it allows you to basically double dip, get more out of the content that you have today, and be indexed in multiple search engines and own that video and be able to monetize it on your terms. I think one of the big things that's missed out, where everyone else is going to pivot back to where I think the place that domain owners and sites have now, is that they're going to want to have their own property that they own their own video on. And so the tools that we made are tools that are designed to help publishers do exactly that. One is to create video easier than they've ever been able to before using their existing articles. And the second is to be able to not only own and index that video in search results, but to share it across our network of 1.6 billion consensus page views according to Comcast. And that's a couple months ago, but that gives us a larger audience than Snapchat. And so that's a network potential that basically we can go and find places where users are at that video would make sense. And we can put it onto those sites. So you're getting views, you're making money, you're being able to do those things the second you upload that video. Plus, it's getting indexed in search results. You can't upload a video to YouTube and get the same kind of benefit.
I always remember, because I think you come at it from a really clever way. When you first mentioned like the video platform Humix, I was like, yeah, that's great. But the reason why lots of people don't do video is it's hard to create. Like anyone can go and write a piece of like, blog post, for example. But say go and make a video, like where do you even start? Do you have to outsource that? Do you have to have a voiceover? So you've tackled that solution as well, right? I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, a couple years ago, I remember grabbing a bunch of our publishers, both the large and small ones, and asking them like, why aren't you doing video? Why haven't you gotten into video? And there's really three reasons that I tend to find that almost any publisher that's, you know, maybe not doing a lot of video or investing a lot of time in it, it's not something that they're familiar with, so they don't really know how to navigate it the same way they do written content, whether it's optimization or figuring out how to even like monetize it or just get the most out of it. The second is the barrier to like creation. Most of us can write, but like putting together a video and editing it, different types of content are going to lend itself to, you know, more amateur, like maybe on your phone or something. But
Yeah.
eventually, you know, you reach a point to create a decent quality video. It's a little bit harder. You need expertise, resources. And then the third is usually just like it's difficult to build an audience some like on your own versus, you know, like on some place like YouTube. Websites are a little different, and so we tackled all of those, and Flickify is our article to video creator. So what it does is you can either start from scratch or you can take an existing article and it'll automatically turn it into a script. It'll have a automated AI voiceover, so those things are really good.
Yeah.
I was really surprised all the different things that when we were going through the testing that it could do. Kind of scary in some ways, but they'll read the narrator will read off the script. You can have the text on the screen as captions. All these things are things you can easily customize. And then we have this massive, massive, massive video stock library. Doesn't cost you anything if you're an Ezoic user, and you can just drag and drop. It'll self-select different clips to kind of like build it out, but then you can swap them out, change them out, make it your own however you would like. And the next thing you know, you've got a video for your article, and it's probably taken you significantly less time than it did to write the article.
What's the value for the user for a video that's just the article in video format? Then what where does that come in?
So you'd be surprised. So like that's one of the biggest benefits of the Ezoic platform is like we build everything off of machine learning and AI, and like the very foundation of the entire system that we built was user experience and user engagement. That's why in our analytics we have some like proprietary metrics that we use.
Yeah.
They're open source, so anybody could use them. We think
Yeah.
that they're very good. It's like engagement time, which is different than session duration because it actually is looking at the time somebody's actually got a tab open and they're either actively scrolling or stopping and pausing on a page, not fiddling with navigation or anything like that. And
Yeah.
so we look at that sort of thing. And when a video is on a page, one of the things that, and it's the reason why they put them in so many of the Google results now, is people are looking for video in a lot of different instances. And not only that, like users will oftentimes find a video that is on the page that has the text on it, and they will let the video read the text to them because they're usually at work or on the bus or something, and so they just hold their phone and they'll see the captions on the video and won't even read the article in many cases. And that's one of the things that we found is that it adds engagement to the page. The pages tend to do better. And then at the same time, if you're a video publisher, this is a nice sort of like bootstrapped way to start to build an audience.
Yeah, tell us about how that works then, because you don't have to have a website with Ezoic in order to put your video on Humix, right? That's right, isn't it?
That's coming very soon.
Okay.
What we've decided to do as a part of Customer Week is we released Humix and Flickify to our customers that have Ezoic accounts. Here in probably the next month or so, content creators that put video up on YouTube or wherever will be able to go and create a Humix account, upload their video, and then they'll have access to this massive network. And it's going to be a no-brainer. And this is where I've been encouraging Ezoic customers, like, get in there. Let's like get in there now, because this is really the chance to have the largest audience you can imagine, and you are going to get the largest percentage of them that you'll ever get a chance to get. Because once creators learned I can put my video on YouTube, and it takes 2 seconds to put this video someplace else where I have another audience, and I can make like 10 times as much as I can from the same views on YouTube, it's going to be a no-brainer. And I think we'll start to see a lot more high-quality video populated, which is also good for our publishers, maybe that don't have video on some of their pages, because they can actually share those YouTube creator videos on there and actually make money from it now. I forget what we looked at, but I think it was like 90-something% of our level 2 and up sites had YouTube videos embedded on their websites, and they
Yeah.
make $0 from that. So it's like you should want to put good quality video on your site that not only is like, you know, embedded on the page, but also something that's like actually adding value. So when you share video or have video shared on your site through Humix, the publishers and the video creators, they share the revenue, and we think that that's like the perfect model.
So will it work similar to YouTube in that you can create a channel, or are you literally just uploading a video into a library and then have the network is distributing it, and you like can you build an audience on Humix the way you could on YouTube, for example, or not?
Yeah, you totally
Yeah.
can. So this is the example that I'll give, and I think it kind of maybe will highlight for publishers where I think the opportunity for them exists here, and where we see the opportunity for video creators. So years ago, retailers learned that they could basically create a business by bootstrapping off the top of Amazon. They realized that they had products, and Amazon had this huge audience, and they would sell products through Amazon. The problem is that Amazon's rules and sort of like their rigid environment, it's like you got to feed the beast without letting it eat you. But then along came something like Shopify, which was basically like Amazon in a box. It allowed you to take the Amazon store and then like own that on your own domain and URL. That's essentially what Humix is it allows users that are Ezoic users to basically take all of that same functionality of having a channel and things like that, uploading the video, and then giving them access to this huge network. But for content creators, it's going to kind of almost work in reverse, where you can create a Humix channel and it can live on a Humix domain, sort of like WordPress.org or WordPress.com is the self-hosted one, right? And so it will allow users to basically create that property for themselves. And then if they want to actually take that same channel and put it on their own domain, they can do that at any time because they own that video and get to choose how they want to monetize it. We've got some really cool creator-based things that we've been working on, and yeah, I think it'll be appealing to that audience for sure.
Nice. So if I'm understanding correctly, then there's two ways you can make money with Humix. One is you're an affiliate, you're a niche site owner, and you're currently embedding YouTube videos, for example, and you're not making any money. You don't have to create videos for your own site if you don't want to. You can take videos from the Humix network and embed those and sharing the revenue.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So you can have your video that you upload shared across our network and immediately start building views and sharing in the revenue from any of those views. And then also have video shared on your site, on any pages you select, all the sort of like options that you have to be able to kind of contain that. And then you earn money from that as well. And I've been telling publishers, like, it's not just, I think when you think about it, because it's our platform, Ezoic, everybody's always like, oh, Ezoic, leader in ads. But the thing is we invested in building these types of tools because we realized that audience is the thing that, even though 1A might be like revenue and 1B might be audience, that audience piece is so important because you literally can't make any money without an audience. It has to sort of come first. And so we've been trying to figure out how do we help publishers build a good quality audience. And that's where I see the tools that we've made today provide an opportunity for what I call a quadruple dip. And the reason why I call it that is if you write an article, now you can use Flickify, which is the tool to turn your article into a video. You can turn that article into a video, upload it to Humix, share it on that page, and then you can also upload it to YouTube. And so now you've got one article that you wrote, you've created a video, you're making money off that video. It's also getting shared across the network now. So there's 3 different opportunities to make money. And then, yeah, why not upload it to YouTube?
That totally makes sense. And I mean, I've got to ask, like, does video pay more than just banner ads in terms of like RPMs or EPMV? Is it even comparable? Is it apples to oranges, like you said earlier, or is it comparable?
Yeah, it's not really comparable from the standpoint of like, you think about an article that you have where one ad is maybe and have a CPM, right? So that's more so what you look at in video. So like a page can contain multiple ads. A video of like without a significant link to it is probably not going to show more than maybe one ad. Ezoic will test we test both pre, mid, and post roll video
Yeah.
ads. So those things actually play a really big difference in user experience. A lot of people just put the pre-roll ad, but that might be the only way that somebody would bounce. And if you mid-roll it, it works a lot better sometimes. And so essentially, like video ads, they're sort of diluted by the fact that there's so much like crappy video out there. And that's one of the things that we've seen is that like our tools actually, the second that somebody uploads a video to Humix, the advertiser bids like go like this, the more views that they get. And it's because it's basically figuring out that the quality comparative to what's out there is significantly better. And it's not surprising if you go around and you kind of look at some of the like videos that are floating around on websites, they're terrible. And so that was another part of the opportunity that we saw for our publishers. So it's not really comparable, but if you want to compare it to something like YouTube, being able to use outside demand other than like AdSense, which is what YouTube is pulling from, there is a significant difference there where you'll see, like I said, maybe 7 to 10x.
Is there a rule of thumb? Say for example, I've got a site that's making $1,000 a month with Ezoic ads, display ads, and then I go to the effort of putting video ads across all the posts. Is there like a rule of thumb that revenue will go up 10% because I put video on there, or 20%? Like, does it work like that?
It doesn't work exactly like that. But one of the things that we've noticed is that our publishers that upload video, I think I looked at the ones that had started a couple, like maybe 3 months ago, that were in one of our initial betas. I think for every video uploaded, they were making about $62 more a month. And that's the average. So you're looking at the little guys and the big guys. So we've got outliers on both sides. And then in the same token, we've also had sites that were making less than $100 a day on just the regular articles, and then making like over 1,000 on all the different videos and stuff that they'd uploaded and shared across the network. So it varies so much because depending on what type of content it is, and then also what gaps other sites might have not having video. If you get a video uploaded that maybe is like viral, I guess it's like not really viral. It's just it fits a lot of different places. You may see views go up so much that all of a sudden you're getting a significant amount of revenue from shared. So that's the other portion of this is it's not just the money that you make from your own site; it's from across the network too.
What's your tips and what's your tips for making those kinds of videos so they can go viral like that? How is it broken down? How is it determined that one video is going to do really well?
Yeah, so the things that generally like tend to do pretty well are the videos that sort of incorporate both the text and the visual element. So I'm a big fan of the captions on there because autoplay video in some cases, whenever it's showing up, is always muted in a browser window. And so that's something that if you're a user and you're like reading content, having that sort of text I mentioned earlier, somebody will sometimes stop and just watch the video, read the text to them. And that increases the engagement time on the page significantly, which will drive advertiser bids up over time. So whether you're alternating back and forth, but having text on the screen is good. And then also lots of little transitions in the video. A lot of times it's like, I've noticed that sometimes people just like leave the same image or the same sort of background on the video for long periods of time. It's probably good if you sort of chop that up a little bit so that you're basically getting rid of sort of the ADD that we've all developed through online video and information. And then the last thing as well is like people always ask about like the length of video or different things like that. The biggest thing is make the video relevant to the user, meaning if the video needs to be 2 minutes long, it's 2 minutes long. If the video needs to be 20 minutes long, make it 20 minutes long. The thing that we found is that there's no particular length that seems to matter. But if you look at the content, and specifically if you go on a site and you look at its sort of content categories, you can definitely see that there's a certain length that makes sense for that website by category, where you can see the ones that earn the most are the ones that are, like correlate with articles that are 800 words long or something like that. And that tends to be, it's because there's probably a right length for conveying the information on that page to users.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to play devil's advocate here then. So if Flickify is like the automated or as automated as possible in terms of turning articles into videos. Why doesn't Ezoic just do that for all of our pages and auto add video? Just add the tick box, I want video, and Flickify will turn all of our articles into video and add them across the network and our content.
Well, I guess it's probably the same reason why if AI, well, you know how I feel about AI content. I don't think AI can write great content, but at the same time, it's sort of the same methodology with video. Even if you could caption, do the narrator, and like kind of take your best bet with all the different things. I mean, a lot of times when you put an article into Flickify, the like auto generation that it does is near perfect. But then other times it's like, you know, there might be something with the way that the narrator phrases something or the way that the article is written that it doesn't really make sense for video, you know, where it's like,
Yeah.
if you read your articles out loud, in some cases, you might be talking to the audience, breaking the third wall or something like that. And then on top of that, you know, like the stock video stuff, the matching is really good, but it's not always perfect. You know, like I know we were trying to use Halloween costumes the other day to try to trick it. And one of the things that's funny is like, yeah, that threw it off a little bit. Like showed a little girl in a spider costume and it was like, that's an octopus, you know? So if you had an article on octopuses and it showed a little girl in a spider costume, you might be a little bit surprised. So I think it's one of those things where we know that publishers really, it matters a lot to them, the fact that they like have good quality content on their site. So that's something we want to be aware of. And then the second thing too is that if you just, if we were to just generate all those videos and to throw them on publisher sites, like then the question becomes like, well, who owns that video? And I think that there is something to be said about the fact that by you at least manually going through and selecting through there, it makes you the owner of that video. And that's something that we think is really important.
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally. When you mentioned about the AI and AI assisted thing, totally makes sense then, actually. Otherwise, it'd just be full of rubbish, mostly, or not mostly, but a ton of rubbish. Greg's asking some questions here. I mean, is there a tutorial on Humix on how to get started? I didn't realize that it wasn't like a standalone product yet. So, I mean, is that coming soon or?
Yeah, it'll be a standalone product. Like I said, we've been trying to give our customers like the first chance to really get in and start using the products. I mean, we built it for them. It was built for people that were web publishers. I think if I look out into the next 5 to 10 years, and it's not a view that's held by everybody inside of our company, but it's definitely one that I hold. It's that you think that the internet is going to work the same way that it does today in 5 to 10 years in terms of people are going to go on their phones or on a laptop computer and search for things and find articles and all that sort of thing. I think that there's going to be some major shifts and some we can't predict. But if you do see the trend, especially from a younger generation, video and especially video on mobile has been incorporated to almost every platform. And so modernizing publishers and helping them find like ways to publish the way that they always have and make that accessible to them is what we did. And so if you go and create an Ezoic account today, you can actually start using Humix just by getting an account and setting it up. You'll have to integrate it with the site, but you actually could just still like turn all other aspects of Ezoic off and just operate with Humix.
Yeah, Gregory says he's already an Ezoic publisher, so I guess he's just it's in my dashboard. You just go in there. Is there a guide on how to set it up, or is it or on how to add video? Or is it pretty much?
We have some video tutorials in there, and then we also have some, I believe, on our website, and there's probably something on our blog too that sort of walks through some of it. We're actually getting ready to launch, and marketing thing's gonna kill me because everybody in the company knows you can't tell me anything because I'm just gonna go and tell everybody because I'm excited about everything that we do. I think it's super cool, and so we're working on right now, and we'll launch here probably in the next couple of weeks a video creator course where essentially we're going to put everybody that's an Ezoic user that is interested in sort of like growing a lot faster using video. We're going to show you how to leverage Flickify like pro, and then we're going to show you how to get into Humix and optimize everything that you've done with the video along with your website. Because what we've seen so far, we've had some of our VIPs work with some of our engineers on basically what are best practices, like how do we best like guide publishers to use this stuff, and the results have been incredible. I mean, we've got some VIP publishers that earn maybe 80, 90 grand a month, but then with these best practices in play, they're adding another 12, 13 on top of that. And it was like, boom, month over month, it was like that big of a change that quickly. And so you're talking about, 10 to 15% revenue growth in less than 30 days. And then on top of that, the ability to sort of like grow your traffic and grow an audience
Yeah.
Exponentially. And so I think that the smaller the site, or I guess sort of the VIPs are the ones that maybe in some cases benefit the least from that, because the differences that we see get more and more exponential the smaller the site is.
I don't know about Elena, but sign me up for that course. I definitely want to make an extra
Same.
10, 15, 20% for my
Where
site.
do I sign?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. We did something like this last year. We had a learning program, and I think everybody was sort of disappointed that we didn't kind of continue something like that. And so we really kind of went back and we said, like, how would we do this if we wanted to basically take, like, we all have friends that work in the office, and we're always trying to tell them, like, you should start a website. And we were like, well, what would we guide like a family member to do if they were
Yeah.
like, what do I need to do to basically create a successful site and grow as fast as possible, and then incorporate video into it? And we were like, let's make that and create that experience for every customer.
Awesome. That sounds great. I guess I was going to say this would be great for Tony. So Tony's one of our regular. He's actually won an Ezoic Publisher of the Year award for Simplified Gardening. He's got a massive.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, he's got a massive YouTube channel. It's probably hundreds of thousands of subscribers now. So program like this where you can leverage your existing video content. I mean, if you can keep it on YouTube and maintain the channel there, and then just make additional revenue from somewhere else, it's a no-brainer. It feels like, why wouldn't you do that?
It is a no-brainer. And the thing is the opportunity is pretty significant, especially right now for our publishers, because this is something where, the reason why YouTube and something like Humix hasn't existed before is because YouTube has this massive reach. It's a no-brainer why people have built the audiences that they have on there, is because it's available. The reason why there's not a competitor is because it's like anything else. It's like, why don't people like become a Bing organic traffic website where all they do is go after Bing? It's because the audience is so much smaller, and the benefit is less. But with something like Humic, where you have this network and it's automated distribution, it's not like an index or something like that where you're basically hoping that an algorithm starts to send you traffic. You instantly start being able to distribute your video to an audience, and then at the same time, it does get indexed in search. So you can literally take an article and then put a video on it, and those are two separate pieces of content. So when you think about it, it's like the article has a chance to rank in Google search, and then you have the video that ranks in the second largest Google search engine, which is images and video. So those are two pieces of content now that could rank, and then both can earn money, or they can earn money on top of each other, or they can earn money on other people's sites. It's a really cool sort of concept and idea. And I think once creators realize that there's this opportunity there as well, like you said, it'll be sort of a no-brainer for people with YouTube channels to want to like double dip.
I'm sure you've already thought about this, but what's the mechanism for people not taking my videos? Say I've got YouTube content. What's the mechanism from stopping someone going on my YouTube channel, taking my videos and uploading to Humix and getting paid for my content? How does that work?
So it's sort of the same rules of the internet, DMCA and all that sort of thing. We also have some aspects of things that we've done on our side to kind of protect our publishers. I can't say
no, of course not.
That I can talk about because I don't want to give away sort of like some ways that people might try to hack through and sort of circumvent that. But I mean, I think that was actually one of the first, like when we were going through and sort of engineering this, that was like one of the first big challenges that we were looking at was like, how do we prevent, a significant amount of like fraud, copyright infringement, that sort of thing. But that is also the benefit of like uploading the video to Humix and owning the video, because actually when you upload that video to YouTube, realize those terms of service are not good. They're not great for publishers. And when you create the video with Flickify and run things through the Humix network and upload through there, there's a significant number of portion of that is protected for our publishers. And that was actually something that we saw as like a huge benefit.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, Tony's just basically saying here that he loaded a load of his YouTube videos into Humix, and it was easy being able to link the accounts. So it sounds like if you've already got a YouTube channel, it's not even laborious to go and download them all and re-upload them all. You can just link the accounts. It sounds like.
Yeah, we made that really, really easy, and believe it or not, it was really, really hard to get right.
Bet. Yeah, I bet. Greg's also saying, I've noticed my keyword is not only showing Google, but many come up in YouTube. One thing which we do as when we publish blog content at the moment, anyway, at least, because of the barrier for creating video, is we embed other people's YouTube videos at the bottom of our content. And you can see in Search Console, if you go to Search Console and search appearance and click video, you can see that those videos, they're not even our videos. They're just other people's videos are from YouTube. And God knows how many other people have got them embedded, ends up driving traffic and can drive a significant amount of traffic over time. So it'd be interesting to see what would happen if that's unique videos, that's only you, that it's totally optimized. Because sometimes you've got to settle for a YouTube video that's not totally on the subject. It's just like around the edges. It's kind of related, but it's not. But you want a video on there. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that works.
That's really strategically a couple years ago when we started on this. That was the motivating factors when we looked at all the data across our tens of thousands of sites, and we looked at sort of trends and related to their queries that they would get in Search Console, and then also just sort of like what we were seeing on the page. It was really obvious that video was becoming a greater and greater factor, both for and against publishers. Meaning, if you were a publisher, in many cases, like you would still rank as the top organic result, but your traffic would get cut in half. And so we would go and we'd wonder why. And it was because Google was putting a video result above that, or on the at the time they had the sidebar still, and sometimes they would put videos there. And so it wasn't even a matter of ranking. It was a matter of, everything on that search page cannibalizes the user's attention and clicks. It's like there's only so many impressions that are going to go out a month for a certain query. And then what happens to those users is going to be determined by what's on that page. And sometimes, like a knowledge graph can steal your traffic, like a rich snippet or something like that. But then video plays a really big role in that because, I think 4 or 5 years ago, only 27% of results had video on it. Now it's the majority.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we definitely see that. And more and more like SERP features are coming in like that, where it's you've got the video carousel, or you've got like a recipe carousel, or you've got a how-to like feature snippet that takes up a quarter of the page now, and all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely.
And I think if you look at it from a macro view, there's a lot of YouTube embedded there, right? And so you've got Google being technically the 3 largest search engines, and then the majority of the video that's indexed in the 2nd largest search engine comes from the 3rd largest search engine. You start to look a little bit puzzled there. And so if you think about it from Google's perspective, that's a risk. It's actually not something that they're probably, it's ingenious the way that it's set up, but now it attracts a lot of the wrong kind of attention in terms of regulation and antitrust. And so they really do want publishers, and they want other people that have video in that index so that it dilutes it down and doesn't seem like such a preferential monopoly. And so that's sort of what we found is a lot of times publishers will upload the same videos to YouTube and to Humix. The Humix ones will rank in search results over the YouTube ones, and that's better for publishers anyways, because that becomes your traffic, and then you can monetize it to a significant degree higher.
Yeah, for sure. Another quick question from Greg is, can they be pulled via voice search?
The videos?
I assume that's what he means. I'm assuming, can you search Humix via voice? I assume is what he means.
Not currently, but it would depend on what he means. One of the things that we have looked into, and it'll be something that we'll prioritize or decide that we want to continue to develop in the background, is in probably the beginning of January, is basically being able to turn audio articles into audio that could then be indexed in places where like voice search and things like that. That would be a very great thing for portion of our publishers, not all, but those that have focus on answers to common questions where the answer is maybe not super simple.
So if you embed audio on your post, these will get indexed.
Yeah, so that would be the idea here, is that you'd be able to index sort of like an audio narration of the content, because there are audio indexes out there now. And Amazon Alexa has one that it pulls from, but Google's is still largely pulling from search results and then reading that content from the page. But there's some opportunities there, we think, for a couple different things. But the question then becomes is like, if we want to do audio, do we go chicken or the egg? Do you go podcast into other forms of content, or do you go other forms of content into like more audio based type of stuff? And we might not focus on either. It just sort of depends. But this is usually the time period where we're gathering a lot of data for our publishers and asking them questions too. If we think that there's an opportunity, is this something that they see or would be interested in too?
Yeah, for the voice search, I think maybe what Gregory was getting at is like I see a lot of more people now talking about how they rank for like voice queries, especially with more people using Alexa and Siri and things like that. But it's my understanding that Google pulls those, like Tyler said, from the text at the moment. Like it might read out the answer of a featured snippet rather than like look for an embedded audio file which has the
They
answer.
use the same methodology that they do for Google Discover, which I highly encourage people to just sort of read the Google parameters on like what requirements they have for a page to be indexed in Discovery, because there's so many sites, specifically just the header image, like the dimensions of it. I think we looked at our sites, and this is something we're going to try to basically give everybody like an instant fix for. It's that header image has to be a certain number of dimensions, and the majority of sites do not have that dimension on their sites. It's actually like a kind of mind-boggling issue with WordPress by default. So there's a huge opportunity there, because you literally can't get into Google Discover unless you sort of meet that like bare minimum criteria, and it's the same index that they use for audio.
I discovered this recently when I bought a website that was getting a ton of traffic from Google Discover, and I went down this whole rabbit hole of how you optimize, how to get more of it. Because some days it just goes wild, like, but there didn't seem to be any rhyme and reason to it. But one of the only things that I see you can optimize for, and the image dimension size, if anybody wants to know, is 1280 by 720. Has to be that size or above in order for Google Discover. But I mean, Google Discover is just a beast of its own. Apart from the image size, I can't figure out what else, because I read everything from the title should be emotional, like emotionally driven to get people to click. The content that I'm ranking for is the most boring content ever. Like, I can't understand why you
Yeah.
would be a Discover engine. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's weird too, because the articles that I've seen on my sites personally, they're usually older, and I'm like, the idea behind Discover from Google's perspective has always been, if somebody's on a mobile Android device and they're in the Google app or something like that, that they would see information that's relevant to them before they even searched and be interested,
Yeah.
sort of like news. So it should be like kind of topical, you would think. And so my older articles ranking doesn't really make sense. But I do know that Chrome Unboxed, who is a customer of ours, and I think they've got some stuff up on either our YouTube channel or our blog on sort of how they've done it, but they've killed it in Google Discover. I've never seen someone get so much traffic from it consistently. And they've built a small fortune on the back of Google Discover. So those guys are doing it right. So I'd recommend checking them out.
That's Chrome Unboxed, you said, was it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check those out, because it pulled my hair out trying to figure out how to
I
get
know,
more.
I know. I'm the same as you. It's like when I've looked at my search console, and even Ezoic.com, like our blog, every now and then it would be like, why is this article on display ads from 2017 showing up in Google Discover?
Crazy. Right. Well, we're out of time here. I know you've got a hard stop on the top of the hour, Tyler, and Lena needs to do age domain teardown. So do you just want to finish off by telling people how they can access these different tools, like what's coming up soon for them, when they might be standalone products, how you can get this course, like finish it off for us. Take it home.
Yeah, you got it. That's what I was born to do. I would encourage anybody that has an Ezoic account, if you haven't gotten in and tried to use Flickify and Humix, start using it on some of your articles to create some videos, and get those videos into Humix. And even if you're sort of like looking forward to maybe like the video creator course and things like that we've got coming, this will give you like at least the foundation to know, kind of hopping into this, that you've got a head start. And I think it will make things a lot easier for you. If you don't have an Ezoic account, like I don't know how many times I got to say double dip or quadruple dip, but to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
As much as we've built these products and I believe in them, just looking at it from an outsider perspective, I think it's an opportunity that can't be ignored if you're a publisher, because it mitigates so many different risks that I think exist today for publishers, which is, the reliance on Google, the reliance on sort of platforms to distribute your content. This is actually something that gives you some protection against that. And then the other thing that I'll say is these things will be available in standalone in the new year, and that's something that creates both opportunity, but also, this is the time now before you have to start sharing some of that audience with a broader group. So I think that this is the time to get in and create that account and get started. And then we've got some other really, really exciting announcements that, you know me, I want to just blurt it out, but I can't talk about it just quite yet. But it has to do with Ezoic Premium, and I think that it's something that our customers are going to really like.
Oh, nice. I can't wait to hear about that. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. That sounds good. All right. Well, appreciate you coming on, Tyler. It's been interesting to learn more about this stuff and how we can get started. I know you've got to jump off.
I'm gonna go train our newbies. We got a new class of employees starting, and so I do a kind of ad industry teardown, where I sort of give the ad industry a hard time and tell everybody exactly why and why we created Ezoic to begin with. So it's one of my favorite ones. But Adam, thanks for having me on. Lena, it was good to see you again, and yeah, hopefully we'll have a chance to connect again. Like I said, love the show. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Cheers, Tyler. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, mate.
Bye.
Right, Elena, over to you. You're going to do some awesome age domain teardowns.
Yeah. So before I begin, I just wanted to mention that both of those age domains are available in our age domain inventory on our site. So if you like what you see, you know where to go to get them. So the first domain I want to show you is a Cocoa Cakery. So it's an awesome name, and it kind of suggests what the niche is. It's based on the name. It's in the baking / cake / desserts niche. It's 11 years old, which is an excellent age for an age domain. It's TR17, and it has 127 referring domains. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go through my usual process so you can get a better understanding of the domain. So this is how kind of it looked like. We're seeing some beautiful cakes.
I love that menu, the way it looked like. I know it's a bit old school, but it looks nice, doesn't it?
It is very old school, that's true. But it is simple to navigate yourself. Like you're getting exactly what you're getting. This was a physical bakery. I mean, if you're making cakes, you're going to have a physical bakery, right? And this domain basically served the purpose of being the digital footprints of this physical cakery. So as you were seeing here, they have pictures of some of their beautiful cakes, and they have a blog section, the gallery, where they had images, as we're seeing here, of their bakes, primarily cakes. They very heavily catered to weddings. When you get a beautiful cake like that, you need a special occasion, and most of the times it's for a wedding. They have their cake artists, workshops, and menu. Now, if you click on there, you will see what's on there, what they offer: cupcakes, muffins, cakes, and all these things. If you click on ordering, they have the prices, and then you can order as well. They have reviews and the contact. So very, obviously, of course, they have a mailing list as well, which is awesome. So very simple purpose, really. Obviously, it was just the digital footprints of that cakery. The backlinks will sort of kind of... the reason why you're going to see quite a lot of wedding-related backlinks, high quality especially, is because, as I say, they very heavily catered to weddings. As we've just seen based on those beautiful cakes, this explains why the majority of the backlinks are wedding-related. But it doesn't matter, they're very high quality, and we will incorporate wedding cakes into our content strategy anyway, so that's no problem at all. But we have an awesome link right at the top, which is Bon Appetit, which is, a more general cooking site, which is incredible authority. It's just incredible backlink, in my opinion. Then we have Style Me Pretty, which is quite wedding related. We have Pinterest here, blog2.com. We have Green Wedding Shoes, JuneBuckWeddings.com. We have MagnoliaRoche.com. We have OneSweat.com. Wedding bells, we have Cara's party ideas, we have wedding sparrow, and just, yeah, a bit more wedding related, and some cooking down the line as well. But we are seeing quite a lot of wedding, but that's okay. They're great quality, but we have more broad, exceptionally high quality backing there as well. The architects.
We should get Jess, my wife, involved in this project. She made her second ever wedding cake on the weekend,
Did
and she
she?
was dressing like crazy because it's different to making a birthday cake. She said, where you make a birthday cake and it's a birthday cake. If it goes wrong, then it goes wrong. But a wedding cake, hundreds of people might look at it and all kinds of stuff. So
I
we
could
should
never
definitely
live
get her
with.
involved.
I could never live with that stress. I
No,
don't
no
know.
way.
I should do it. I saw this. There was a very popular celebrity's brother's birthday. Sorry, yeah, birthday, and they obviously went to this very glamorous place, and they were carrying this massive cake, and all the chocolate on the side started falling. Oh, so scary. Yeah, just very scary. But yeah, well done to Jess for managing through that. Anyway, the architects they don't get any cleaner than that. Very, very, very natural. Right at the top, after I have filtered them highest to lowest referring domains, we have branded, 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 branded. We have Christina, which is one of the persons behind the blog as well. And then we have a naked URL here. We have another branded naked anchor text, more related to the niche. Just awesome anchor text profile. Really, look at how clean it is, and it's quite small as well. There isn't one thing that I don't like in this anchor text profile. So absolutely fabulous. In terms of potential posts that we may need to recreate and individually redirect is a few. One of those is potentially this one, which is, sorry, not this one, which is buttercream peony tutorial. And if you open those backlinks, we have Pinterest, we have Vanilla Bean blog. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, so just to keep this beautiful backlink, which is quite a niche relevant, and potentially the Pinterest one as well. Ideally, you would want to recreate this post and redirect the URL directly. But again, as you were seeing here, the majority of the backlinks are pointed towards the homepage, so not a lot will be needing here to be cleaned up. So yeah, easy peasy. The strategy, although this domain is in the food niche, I think that this domain needs to remain in where it is at right now, which is desserts, sweets, baking. I don't think we should tackle the savory side of the food niche. We should just stick to desserts, cakes, baking, and things like that. And luckily, a lot of people like desserts. A lot of people like to bake. Whether you're an amateur, whether you're a pastry chef, there's a huge interest. Everyone loves a dessert, right? So there's a big market. There's a lot of interest. Now, here's how we can utilize those beautiful wedding backlinks that we have. We can do things like wedding cakes, wedding cake ideas, how to make a wedding cake, things like that. So this will definitely be utilized, and we're definitely going to have a nice big section on wedding cakes. This can be in the form of course, recipes or just pictures, just ideas, in any form, really, it doesn't matter. Listicle types of content around recipes. This is going to be the main kind of event, if you like, and part of the strategy. And in the content will be listicle types of recipes around baking, desserts, all things sweet things. This can be cheesecakes, cupcakes, muffins, brownies, cookies, all sorts of things like that. So this is going to be the main event, really. And then we can do information pieces of content around baking and cakes and desserts. So, for example, what temperature do I need to have my chocolate to temper it? Like, these are very technical kind of things that need to be explained as a more informational rather than just a recipe. How to make a buttercream can be a recipe, can have tricks in it, and how to store it, what type of buttercreams there are, and things like that. So a lot of informational things we can do. Baking is it's kind of a science and a chemistry in itself. It's quite complex. So a lot of information that will need to be filled in that part. Now, the monetization is pretty good here because when it comes to cakes, especially in desserts, especially cakes, I would say, you need quite a unique equipment, whether that's piping bags, piping nozzles, cake stands, you need palette knives, you need all unique kind of equipment that you don't have. Not everyone has them in their kitchen. If you're an amateur baker and you want to make a cake for your daughter's wedding, you're going to have to buy some fancy stuff, some coloring, some this and that. So the monetization, I think, is awesome in terms of potentially selling baking stuff, baking books as well. We can do baking books. So plenty of opportunities. Now, in terms of the competition, I have a couple of competitors I want to show you. The first one is called tastytip.com. They are 21, so slightly higher authority than us. We're 17, they're 21. This one is generating 51,000 per month according to Ahrefs. And they do quite a mix of things, but they do sweet things as well. Things that we can take, how to melt white chocolate chips, snickerdoodle recipe without cream of tartar, which is getting pretty decent volume, considering it's quite a specific thing.
What is a snickerdoodle?
Snickerdoodle is an American snickerdoodle. It's an American pancake, or so. It's a cookie, or is a popular cookies in the US. Yeah,
interesting.
So there are type of cookies in the US. And we have how to make best way to make chocolate chips. Is not the same as the above. That's white chocolate chips. Okay, fair enough. And then there are sweet things. Like how long is cake good for? This is where it's going to go nicely into our informational pieces of content. So how long is the cake good for? Healthier substitutes for cream cheese. We have blueberry pie filling, and you have things like that. This could be easily turned into a listicle types of content for us, like 10 of the best blueberry pie fillings, if you like. And this is kind of what it looks like. A lot we can take from this competitor who isn't very far off, our authority. So cookies for banana pudding and things like that. So it's a nice competitor that doesn't have a lot of posts either. It has 228. So I thought this is a great competitor. The second one is slightly less authority than us. So it's DR12, family favorite, holidayrecipes.com, generating 34,000, and it has 103 posts, which is even less than the last one. They once again do a mix of savory and sweet, but they have things like sweet things that we can take from, like Walker shortbread recipe. We have sugar-free banana bread. We have marble cookie brownie. Blarney's. Oh no, what's this? I don't know. We have. I don't know what this is. Is this sweet?
And also there was that Gigi Hadid. Isn't she a model? Is she famous for her pasta then? I guess this is one of those viral TikTok things that went mad, where she probably made some pasta on TikTok, and then it was like, oh, how did she make that?
Look, it has 11,000 searches.
Yeah.
The thing
That's a great opportunity. Like, you could look at people which are not famous chefs, for example, and look at, are they famous? Like, are they famous for creating different types of foods from social media, maybe?
Yeah, there was one thing. A smoothie blew up a couple of months ago. If you watch the Kardashians, she made a smoothie or something, and then that recipe just blew up. But I'm a bit skeptical when it comes to creating content around these things, is because this is a thing that happens today. So you see the Kardashian drinking a smoothie, you look at it, you make it, and then you forget about it. So the volume will come down after people forget about it, because it's just I don't know. I just think that it's a temporary thing. Would you want to make a whole piece of content on it? I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical on that. But either way, they're generating a good amount of traffic. We have sugar-free Christmas candy here, Halloween barbecue party ideas, maybe not. They have sweet things like Oreo milkshake without ice cream, German muffins, things like that we can take, like eggnog custard pie. So definitely things we can take. And remember, this one is lower authority than us, so a perfect opportunity to rate their sweet recipes. And the last one I want to show you is a competitor that's within our DR bracket, so obviously higher than us. But I want to show you what it's possible to achieve with a bit of link building and that, that DR and the right content strategy. You can achieve this, which is a cakedecorist.com. He decides specifically targeting sweet cakes, and it's generating 117,000 per month. And they do like all things sweet, things like cakes, and we have here the buttercream frosting needs to be refrigerated. We have elegant blue birthday cake. I wonder what this is, a listicle or not. I'm imagining it's probably not. We can easily turn this into a listicle. No, it's not. It's just it's an icing for a cake. So they do all things cake related stuff, like red velvet cake ideas, decorations, how much to fill a cupcake, and all things sweet things that I think is a great kind of reassurance that if you do go into just the sweet path of this niche and this content strategy, I think you can definitely achieve lots of traffic. Yeah, this is the first one, and the second one is the second one is my favorite. The second one is oh my god, this man, I was so happy. I was like, yes, this has to be one of my very few favorite niches. When we get an age domain with those niches, I'm like, yes. Yeah, don't miss out on this. This is an absolutely amazing domain. It's called Book Reviews by Shalini. 4 years old, DR21, and it has 314 referring domains. So yeah, I just cannot wait to dig into it because it's so excited. I just get too excited about these things. So yes, let me just load all my stuff. As the name suggests, it's book reviews by Shalini. Shalini was the person behind the blog. She loved, as she says here, my first love has always been books. My blog features my reviews, author interviews, excerpts, and other book-ish events. So she just loved books. This lady, she did all things book reviews. So you have, if you scroll down, you have book review, The Big Chill by Doug Johnstone. And if you scroll down, another book review, another here, another. So really simple purpose, clean-ish domain. You can navigate yourself through it. Nothing too complicated. The person behind it just shared their passion for books and their reviews. So yes, simple purpose, simple name, nothing really complicated. The purpose is very straightforward. As I said, it's DR21. So let's take a look at the backlinks. So we have goodreads.com, which is an excellent high authority niche relevant backlink. We have Gumroad here. We have Oregon Live. We have cleveland.com. We have masslive.com. Redsea, again, niche relevant backlink. We have bookbaby.com, another niche relevant. We have, what else have we got? Business Insight Directory. No, that's probably, yeah. So we do have a few at the top that are pretty good, especially the fact that they are niche relevant. I think it's more important that they're high quality and they're niche relevant. So we do have the usual and the classic, news, high quality news sites that typically most HMNs have, which is excellent. So we have a nice mix of niche relevant and news as well. So yeah, the anchor text profile is clean as well. So as we're seeing, I'll take this as a branded because it's obviously it's the name of the person, but it obviously is on the URL. So I'll classify this as semi-branded, and this name obviously has a huge established which is expertise, authority, and trust, and it's also semi-branded as well. And then we have branded here. We have a branded. Then we have a naked anchor text and branded. So yeah, so very, very good. Once again, very, very good anchor text profile, just like the last one. So nothing really concerning. In terms of the cleanup process, again, the majority of the backlinks are pointed towards the homepage, so nothing really out of the ordinary. We do have some backlinks pointed towards internal pages, so let's take a look at the quality of those. So maybe not this one, as it has Blogspot and it has all sorts of links that you don't want to keep really. So these will need to get investigated, but if they do need to be recreated, some of them will need to be recreated, but either way, the majority are pointed towards the homepage. Okay, here's a strategy. A lot of people read, thankfully. I'm not one of those people. Well, I like to think I do, but yeah, thankfully, there's a lot of people that read, and there's a huge market opportunity, whether you read on your phone, whether you read, having a physical book with you, people read. So even though, it's the funny thing is that even though a lot of people read, it's not, I don't know, I think it's competitive, but it's not as competitive online, so that's why I think this niche is awesome, because there's just huge opportunities, and the competitors I'm going to show you later, the search volume of some keywords are absolutely insane. So yeah, this is just a fabulous niche.
What strikes me about that as well is it's, remember we were looking at the movie domain, which we were like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yeah,
very similar, isn't it? Because we were looking at movies in order, books with including people, and movies including people, and this is the same thing. Harry Potter books in order, and best books by different authors. So very similar strategy to the movie thing, which kind of makes sense.
Absolutely. And I've got a competitor that is just doing this. Boom, boom, boom. Every single piece of content is just in order. But
How
I
many
don't want
pieces
to
of
tease
content
you.
do we
Let me
have?
go.
What's the opportunity for that? Is it 400 and something pieces of content there?
Yeah, 405, and
Ooh,
this volume is 35,000 for Louis
wow,
Penny books in order. It's
that's crazy, isn't it?
insane. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just want to show you the
Sorry.
strategy. I'm just getting so excited. This makes me so excited. This niche. Yeah. So based on this competitor, I'm not a genius. I haven't thought of this. I just saw that this guy's doing so well, so I'm like, okay, books in order. You can also do more interesting things. More exciting, unique things. So this guy is doing books in order, Lois Penny. So if Lois, sorry, Penny writes different genres, then we can do genre by order or whatever. So I think we can it's really smart. So instead of just sticking Lois Penny is doing this thing and then we move on to James Patterson. So we can utilize and split Lois Penny's books in certain different areas. I think we can be really smart and potentially do individual reviews as well, and then internally link to their listicles as well. But yeah, we can do Harry Potter, romantic books, horror books. You can do 10 of the best. I don't know. I think you can do so much in terms of whatever you're looking for, whatever your mood is. Piece of content about novels as well, could be listicles, info content, etc. Gift ideas for book lovers. This is something that I've seen that can be monetized, which is fantastic monetization opportunities. We can just sell books and stuff, and also with the books in general, if you're someone who's just run out of reading a book and you're looking to get another book, and let's say you like romantic books, you can say, here is 100 of the best romantic books in 2022. And when you pick one of your that picks your interest, we can link that book and you can buy it right from Amazon, whatever. So that's how we can make money as well, which is an awesome idea. I mentioned this. So individual book reviews that we can later internally link to our listicles. So we have, I don't know, individual review on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and then we have Harry Potter books in order and individually, and that's going to get linked up on this listicle post. So that's going to create a strong internal linking structure as well. We can also explore other things, like, for example, information pieces of content on how to write a book, how to publish a book, writer's block, and how to write a book, things like that I think we can explore as well. But for me, the star of the show is listicles of books in order, romantic books, books by author, and things like that. As I said, the monetization can come from everything books, everything book products, etc. Okay, this is the exciting competitor. So this competitor is lower authority than us. We're DR21, they're DR18, and they're generating 235,000 per month, which is absolutely insane. As you can see, they've taken off really nicely. Really good. And they are doing just books in order. So literally every single here query is books in order. It doesn't get more simple than that. So if you click on it, it's a listicle. So it has all 18 plus books in order. They give you a little bit of fluff in the beginning with Lois Penny. Then we have more. And then we have the books in order. And then, so he's put them into a list. So he tells you, here they are. And then we go down, he breaks them down. So we have them listed here. And then he breaks down stuff about the book. We go to number 2, and it says more stuff about the book. And number 3, again, this is not rocket science. We've got a picture here. It's really rocket science. And it's saying, I just thought it's insane the amount of search volume this one is getting. We have more books in order. I really don't know whether I should keep going to showing you this, because it's very simple. Just books in order, books in order, books in order. We can do, to get to my point, what I was trying to say is that we can have Stephen King books in order, but we can also have Stephen King's best-selling books, as well. So we can expand on that author rather than just sticking everything in one post and move on to the next author. So we can really be smart and extend our content opportunities. But I just think this is excellent, for books in order as a primarily kind of content strategy this side is doing. I think it's just excellent for less authority than us as well. So
Well, I've seen how these people are getting tons of traffic with these different ways. There's so many different ways to get traffic with sites, isn't there?
I know. If you're smart and It's just.
What do you mean we are smart? We're smart people.
If you're smart, we are smart, exactly. But I think, I think that's why I like our tomb raiding method, because this competitor is
Yeah.
lower authority than us, right? And they obviously have an epic strategy. They found those high search volume keywords, if you like, and they're putting a nice piece of content. We come in, we're like, great job, well done. We're gonna take your best performing content, make it better, and hopefully outrank you. So yeah. Anyway, the second one is again 1 DR less than us, so very close. Waterread.com. Not as exciting traffic, but again 67,000 is pretty good as well. And this one is doing similar things. They do a bit of movies as well, which makes me think, could we potentially, I don't know, down the line maybe look at like 100 of no, let's do like which Stephen King books were turned into a movies, because you know how It and other movies were Stephen King's inspired. So I think we could gently tackle the movie space, because it kind of is relevant. Right, Harry Potter was a book, right, and it turned into a movie, right? So I think we can tackle it if we're smart. Maybe down the line. Obviously, we'll just focus on books, but yeah, this one is doing quite a lot of movies, but they also do books in order. Percy Jackson books in order, Vampire Diaries books in order, and as we know, Vampire Diaries also have a TV show. So yeah, the domain does tackle movies, but they're doing books and movies. So I think potentially we could be able to, as you can see, you can buy it. So they have the Vampire Diaries here, and you can just click and buy. So yeah.
I wonder how many people are buying DVDs these days, or Blu-ray. I wonder how that converts. Just out of curiosity, I wonder, like, they must make way more from display ads than they do from
that. Yeah. Yeah. How many Harry Potter books are there? I mean, look.
It's interesting, because if you look at the URL though, they're trying to get Harry Potter books in order, but they're ranking the main thing they rank it for is how many books are there. Which is interesting.
That is interesting, yeah. And what else is interesting? We have reading order. That's cool as well. Reading order. That means the same thing, really. We have Diary of the Wimpy Kid series in order. Yeah. So for me, this competitor is the star of the show for me. Just amazing niche. If you're looking into getting into a smart, high opportunity niche, I'd say the book one is the one for you. Yeah, this is me.
Awesome. I think that's great. The book one, yeah, Steph, we were excited about the film one. The book one's pretty much the same opportunity as the film one, it feels like. Big opportunity.
It really is, just in reverse in whatever the niche is about. So, yeah.
For sure. Cool. Awesome. All right. Thank you very much, Elena, for sharing that with us. Very insightful as usual. Got anything else planned for the night? Anything exciting? Taking Alfie for a walk?
Taking Alfie for a walk, that's right. Luckily, it's not raining, because yesterday it was raining, it was miserable, so I need to take him out. And new Master Chef on BBC One started, so I love watching that. I'm going to watch that at 9 p.m, and that's me done for the day.
Being an ex-chef, do you ever say, "Oh, that's rubbish"? Like,
I do.
Like the way I watch sports sometimes, like, "Oh, that's crap," and I'm sitting there eating crisps.
I do. I can't help it. I'm like, "Oh no, why did you do that?" What about you? Any plans tonight?
No, nothing, to be honest. Nice, easy, chilled night tonight, I think.
Yeah. Still Thursday.
Call after this. Yeah, still Thursday. Call after this, and then I'll head home then. So, but we're nowhere near 35 likes, so we're not going to do the giveaway this week. Ooh, sad faces.
Sorry. No Alfie as well.
No. Hopefully, Mark will bring it back next week. Mark,
he needs to show the cabin. He needs to dress up as well.
Yes, Mark's the big attraction. So, anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you very much, Elena. And again, thanks for Tyler. He's not here, but thanks for Ezoic coming on and explaining some stuff. And we will catch you all next week, next Thursday.
That's right.
I'm not sure what the title is yet, but we will figure it out and we will let you all know. As you can tell, I'm not prepared for this live stream. Mark always pulls all this stuff together. I just jump on. So it's definitely not as polished as when Mark is here. But yeah, we will catch you all next week. Thank you, everyone, and have a good week.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.